Police department says a suspect is in custody as authorities investigate a murder earlier this afternoon. Today around noon, police say they responded to a home in the 900 block of Tanner Drive of reports of a gunshot victim. When they got there, police say they found a 31-year-old woman with gunshot wounds. Officers say the victim was taken to a local hospital where she later died.
I was trying to call her and she wasn't answering. I was trying to call her son. He wasn't answering. And then he finally answered and said that she had got shot.
Officers were already on their way to Tanner Drive before most people in Copper's Cove had finished their Saturday morning coffee. The call came in at 11:48 a.m., a gunshot victim. When they pulled up to the residence in the 900 block, they found a woman down with multiple gunshot wounds and began life-saving measures on the spot. Witnesses were already outside. They knew exactly who had done this. They knew his name. And as paramedics worked and the street filled with the sound of emergency, the people standing there told officers precisely where to look. Before we get started, drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and like this video so you don't miss out on more cases like this. Her name was Shazmin Ta Sean Clack. She was 31 years old, born on the 31st of August 1993 in Kingsville, Texas, where she spent her childhood and first learned who she was. She was raised there by her mother Shante and her father Sean. The youngest years of her life spent in a city small enough that everyone knew everyone and bold enough that it left a mark on her. Pink was her color from the beginning. Not something she grew into. Something she arrived with and never put down, carried forward into every version of herself across every decade of her life. Her clothes, her nails, her shoes, the way she walked into any room without checking first whether the room was ready for her. She was not the kind of person who adjusted herself to fit the space. The space adjusted. At 15, her family relocated to Austin. She enrolled at Del Valle High School on the southeast side of the city, and she finished what she started, graduated, kept moving. Austin gave her room to grow into the person Kingsville had started building, and she used every bit of it. By the time she settled in Copper's Cove, she was not figuring herself out anymore. She had already done that. She was executing. Shazmin ran an online spiritual reading and cleansing business. Her clients knew her as Shaz the Reader. She conducted tarot readings, offered spiritual cleansings, hosted live streams where she connected with her audience in real time, and managed a client base that kept growing because she was genuinely good at what she did and genuinely present for the people who came to her. She loved the work. Her family said it plainly after she was gone. She loved what she did, and she adored the people she did it for. That is not the language of someone going through the motions. That is someone who found the exact intersection of skill and purpose and planted herself there and refused to move. Her clients kept coming back. Her presence online kept expanding. Saturday mornings were not rest days. They were work days. She was also a mother, and she treated that with the same seriousness she brought to everything else. She made sure her children did not go without. She was running a business, managing client relationships, and raising kids at the same time, and none of those things got half of her. She showed up completely for all of it. Her sister Chantel would say after she was gone that it was all about her kids, that the kids were what mattered above everything else.
Her kids, that's what really mattered. Like, she loved her kids. It was all about her kids. It's just a lot. Basically starting all over without their mom.
Anyone who knew Shazmin already knew that. It was not a secret. It was just who she was. She set trends. She was not afraid to be bold, from her hair to her clothes to the way she carried herself in public. She helped people. She gave what she had, even when it cost her something. She was, by every account, from every person who loved her. Exactly the kind of person the world does not have enough of. If you are watching on right now, stay with this because the man investigators would name as their suspect had a connection to Shazmeen that reframes everything you just heard about the life she was building.
No bullshit. This is our woman. Tell him, baby.
Yes, it's the one thing.
So boom. Okay. I say, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm coming out the yeah. You know that I'm about to make a way. Yeah, 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 baby girl. What's your
Alonzo Ezekiel Hunter was 27 years old and from Beaumont, Texas, roughly 300 miles southeast of Copper's Cove. He was not a stranger to Shazmeen. He was the father of her youngest child, a daughter born in September 2024, which meant that no matter how much distance existed between them, by early 2025, there was always a thread connecting his world to hers, a reason to call, a reason to show up, a point of access that could not be fully closed. By early 2025, he was already navigating an open assault charge, with a court date scheduled for Monday, February 3 inches the 52nd Judicial District Court in Copper's Cove. He had legal business to answer for 2 days after that Saturday. Whatever brought him from Beaumont to Tanner Drive on the morning of February 1 was urgent enough that court date had stopped mattering to him. The two of them were moving in opposite directions. Shazmeen was building something real, something with clients and consistency, and a future attached to it. Hunter was already in the process of having to answer for something, and by January 2025, the gap between those two trajectories had become impossible to ignore. In the weeks leading up to February 1, Alonzo's behavior had become public and escalating. He posted accusations against Shazmeen on social media, naming her, airing what he framed as betrayal for anyone who followed him to see. He took screenshots of messages between Shazmeen and a client, a rapper who had reached out about her spiritual services, and presented them as proof of something they were not.
Look, my baby mama do readings and stuff, right? So this type of stuff she do with her dude clients and the people she do readings, do cleans and stuff like that, but also she do balls and all that also. You know what I'm saying? So when she's telling me, hey babe, I have to work, she have to get off the phone, she doing some whole other shit. But check this out, look at the messages of her.
Shazmeen's business involved direct client communication, readings, cleansings, personal exchanges with people who came to her for guidance. Alonzo took that work and turned it into ammunition. Shazmeen responded. She posted that it felt good to finally be free. No more lies, no more manipulation, no more gaslighting. She wrote about what she had given him her support when he came home, her backup car when he needed it, her patience across months of dysfunction. She was not trying to wound him on the way out. She was simply done, and she said so, and she kept moving. He did not. His posts grew darker through January, more bitter, more paranoid. He wrote about not trusting people, about being watched, about women who pretend loyalty. He was narrating his own unraveling in public, and nobody who read it understood yet where it was going to end. On the night of the 31st of January 2025, Shazmeen went on Facebook Live. She was at a restaurant, dressed up, makeup done, her kids dropped off for the night. She was laughing with her friends, talking about going out, about having a night that belonged entirely to her. People were watching. Then someone in her comments typed a warning. Alonzo had joined the live on a fake account. He was there, watching her laugh, watching her dressed up and free, and completely unbothered. Shazmeen saw it. She called his name out loud, told him to get off her live, and kept going. Her friends in the comments kept warning her. She heard every word. She acknowledged him watching. She stayed on anyway. Less than 12 hours later, officers were called to Tanner Drive. On the morning of February 1, Alonzo Hunter came to her home. Officers arrived at 11:48 a.m. and found Shazmin with multiple gunshot wounds. Life-saving measures started immediately on scene. EMS transported her to Advent Health Central Texas. She did not survive. She was pronounced dead at the hospital, shot inside her own home the morning after a night her friends had spent in her comments telling her to be careful. Witnesses at the scene spoke to officers immediately. From what they described, investigators built a clear picture fast. They located Alonzo Hunter a short time later at the Comfort Suites Hotel in Copperas Cove. He was taken into custody without incident. What the court confirmed next is something we are not going to rush past, because the formal charge placed against Hunter did not just name a suspect. It named the father of Shazmin's youngest child as the man who killed her. On the 2nd of February 2025, Alonzo Ezekiel Hunter was formally charged with murder. A justice of the peace set his bond at $500,000. He sat in Coryell County Jail. The assault case he had been scheduled to answer for on Monday now existed alongside a murder charge. As of the most recent confirmed information, no plea, verdict, or final disposition in the murder case has been made public. The investigation remains open. Shazmin's older sister, Chantel, was the one who kept calling that morning and could not get through. She tried Shazmin's phone. No answer. She called Shazmin's son. He finally picked up and told her what happened. Chantel described that moment to reporters days later.
I was trying to call her and she wasn't answering. I was trying to call her son. He wasn't answering. And then he finally answered and said that she had got shot.
She tells me it was a case of domestic violence that ultimately left 5 children without their mother.
Her kids, that's what really mattered. Like, she loved her kids. It was all about her kids. It's just a lot. Basically starting all over without their mom.
According to Copperas Cove police, officers arrived and Shazmin was taken to a nearby hospital where she later passed away. And as her family and our community grieve this loss, they are remembering Shazmin for the person she was and the impact she had.
For those of us who didn't know Shazmin, give us a glimpse into who she was.
She was a very kind and giving person. Like, she helped a lot of people. Like, she would give literally the shirt off her back.
Now Chantel says they're taking it day by day, focusing on the kids as they all try to move forward and leave one last message for her sister.
I love her. And she did everything right, even though the situation turned out how it did. You did it. And we got the kids.
What Shazmin left behind had been known to her family from the beginning, and it lands differently now that everything else has been laid out. Shazmin Ta-Shan Clack was the mother of 5 children: Taranay, Jason, Alasia, Khaleesi, and Aziona. 5 children who had a mother who made sure they did not go without, who built a business so she could be there for them, who dropped them off safe for the night on January 31 so she could have one evening that was just for her. All 5 were placed with a family member after her death. The children had somewhere to go. But they went there without her. The community did not go quiet. A GoFundMe was set up by Shazmin's family with a goal of $7,000 to cover funeral costs and services. On February 9th, 8 days after she was killed on her own street, people gathered at the corner of Tanner Drive and Anderson Avenue at 3 in the afternoon. They brought pink balloons. They brought candles. They stood at the place where everything had stopped, and they sent pink up into the sky, because that was her color. because that was who she had always been from the time she was a little girl in Kingsville until the last night of her life, when she was laughing on a live stream and her friends were telling her to be careful. She was laid to rest through Kingsville Memorial Funeral Home, buried in the city where her story began, in the place that first made her. Drop a comment below and tell us what you think about how this case was handled. The next case is already being investigated, and it is one that is going to stay with you. Shazmeen's business did not close itself on February 1. Her client page was still there. The sessions she had not yet delivered were still sitting there waiting. She had built something real enough that it kept existing after she was gone, which is exactly what you build when you are thinking about next week and next month, not just about making it through the day. She was thinking forward. She was always thinking forward. Alonzo Hunter watched Shazmeen go live the night before from a fake account, saw her dressed up and laughing and free, and drove to her home the next morning. He had a court date in 2 days. He came anyway. And the woman who had spent that Friday night on camera, surrounded by friends warning her in real time, the woman who had called him out by name and kept going, did not get to see Saturday end. What this case exposes is what happens when a man decides that a woman's freedom is something he has a right to take back. Shazmeen was not hiding. She was on a live stream, visible to anyone watching, laughing, dressed up, living a night that was just hers. That should not have been a dangerous thing to do. He watched her do it, and he made a decision. The 300 miles between Beaumont and Copperas Cove did not slow him down. The open court case did not slow him down. The warnings her friends typed into her comments did not slow him down. Nothing slowed him down except the officers who found him at a hotel less than an hour after Shazmeen was gone. There are 5 children who will grow up knowing their mother was shot in her own home on a February morning after a night she spent laughing with her friends. The youngest of them, the daughter he made a song for, will grow up knowing it was her father who did it. That is what jealousy looks like when it is allowed to become something no one stopped, not a feeling, an ending. Her page is still there. Her name is still there. The clients she had not yet gotten to, the readings still waiting, the 5 children who needed her for decades more, all of it was still intact on the morning she did not come back to it. Shazmeen Ta Sean Clack did not get her Monday.